Alright, guys. Now, I want to talk about this torus that was produced during the cataclysm and also reproduced in the laboratory by Anthony Peratt using high energy plasma. Now, the arms and legs of this guy would have been seen globally, and I believe that they would have also been being jostled, moving up and down as the energy field is in a tug of war of sorts. And so let's take a look at some of the snapshots that the ancient eyewitnesses left for us of this dancing plasma. And some of these images are courtesy of Angeline Duran. She is out in the field braving rapids and rattlesnakes. She has a website, theancientsouthwest.com, and her associated YouTube channel, which I will leave a link to. And so we can see sometimes arms up, sometimes arms down, straight out, or looped, as this torus field is jostling about and dancing. Sometimes multi-armed. And this is all under the original Birkeland current solar system of Saturn, Mars, and Venus. Here we see the looped arms, and I drew them in here. The associated cone formation that we'll see more of. And what we do is we search out origins. And these are all over the globe, on every continent. This whirling, morphing plasma of the cataclysm. Again, the cone. It would have been beautiful and dreadful, and it would have been replicated because this polar configuration was God. It was Ra. And they felt as if they were being punished. And also that perhaps God was revealing something to them. And so I want you to remember these images here, these long, tall plasma glyphs, because I'm going to show you the Dogon tribe replicating these. Different reconstructions of the morphing, dancing plasma. And it was really this torus field that was being jostled about. Between the two electric magnetic planets. And I made this video based off the suggestion of my brilliant friend Nick Sweeney. When he brought up the whirling dervish. This is a dramatic scene of Ra and the plasma. This is why we see the serpent myth globally, the feathered serpent dragon, the serpent kicking us out of the Garden of Eden. This is where this all comes from, and perhaps it is also the origins of all these different headdresses that we see around the world as they attempt to personify and get closer to God and make amends and duplicate. As the system is being destabilized, you have these shapes that are formed and seen and personified. The isolated Dogon tribe replicating those tall plasma glyphs during their ceremonies. They did not forget. But the story gets twisted along the way in other regions from the survivors and the generations of survivors over millennia. These whirling dervish with their tall hats and their dance and their attempt to get closer to God. They are an offshoot, kind of an esoteric offshoot of the Islamic religion. Many times in red, like the iron oxide dust of Mars and the dust that fell on the earth in the cataclysm. Perhaps their dance is an ancient replication. The dance begins with the singing of the Nati Sarif, a eulogy to the Prophet Muhammad and all the prophets before him. This is followed by a drum beat symbolizing God's command, be, for the creation of the universe. After this is the Taksim, an improvisation on the reed flute meant to express the life-giving breath of God. Yeah, we've seen that flute before. Simply another plasma formation that was seen and documented under Ra, Saturn, Mars, and Venus. And so once we have eyes to see, the evidence is all around us. And perhaps it is the origins of all the different headdresses that we see around the world, here with the serpent, personified and streamlined over generations. This Egyptian scarab, the origins I am suggesting are this stickman torus field that was seen. Under Shamash, Saturn, we are told, was the best sun and the first sun. And I have no reason to think that they are lying. Thanks for watching, guys. Have a good night.